let's check this out with a little grain of salt, because I don't know economics very well. Oh, and even better, it's UK economics. Right now, our way of readers. I that's how I use summer pro. Okay, so here's the first thing that we need to be a little skeptical of. We're seeing like this bait and switch happen. So what is the claim? The claim is that there's more jobs and higher incomes is wrong, right? And then what is the evidence that they give? Or what is this guy claiming? That the net incomes of those that were already large, so that we're getting like this whole like top 10%. And we're doing British. But I'm assuming like the UK is similar to the US with their economic standing. And concerned with the incomes are poor. So we're gonna bring out paint. I don't have paint. Give me one sec. Okay, so this is where we got to be a little skeptical. So let's say this is our graph. This is income, and I guess this would be time. Beautiful drawing. All right, so we have our lower class starting point and our upper class starting point. The argument is they're going like this, and they're only going like that. Some of that, you know, let's even make this a little bit more drastic. They're going like that, they're going like that. So, you know, here, this might be a difference of 10. Now the difference is 20, right? Whatever units you want to do. The issue is that they are now, you know, if you continue this far enough, eventually they get to a point where they're there. And like this process just keeps on going on. Alright, beautiful drawing. We're going to take that off because it's terrible. So like, yes, they're behind, but like, is being behind naturally wrong? Like, should everyone be at the exact same income? Like, that's not a good standard to have, I think. So we got to be careful about saying like, income growth differences is not equivalent to less jobs or worse incomes. What we want to be looking for is like this idea of like power of growth, power of your dollar. Well, UK, I guess it's the power of the pound. Have I been having this here and people haven't been able to read it? This is my webcam. You know, let's actually fix that first. We're gonna minimize this. Because who cares about seeing me? There. Alright. Just because this lets me keep stuff spread out a bit. Okay. So what we're actually looking for is like this idea of like power, market power. I like that idea. Market power. Which is what I'm saying is like ability to play the market. So that means like buy groceries, housing, save, I don't know, subscribe to people, to streamers, you know, whatever it is. At the end of the day, like, are people able to do more with their dollar? And that should be the most important thing we have. Whether Bill Gates is buying 1 or 2 Ferraris doesn't actually matter to the common person. And it shouldn't. Like, you should not get upset that someone else is doing well. Like, that's just a petty like idea to have. whether that be one person or, you know, the top 1%. Like, you don't actually interact with the top 1%, and whatever they're doing should actually care about. All right. Tournament is given interesting supply side reform, remove the version before, promising to introduce a number of measures designed to improve the performance of change. All right, so we didn't get anything meaningful there. By no means isolated rim by the 90s, embracing tax cuts. I mean, it's good to know that there is a right in the UK that is pushing tax cuts. Prove it as capitalism as a more efficient way, and companies use their newly untaxed revenue to expand and increase input. All right, so here we get like our first like thing that's kind of related. The question: do we see more people with jobs? And are those jobs at the same or better standards than previously? And that's what we as a market need to do. Like, it's just in the nature of like any function. It's in the real world is it's continuous. Like, you can't just jump from one thing to another. Like, you make gradual progress. I mean, I would argue you see the same thing with morals in societies. These arguments have long been disputed. A recent study by London New I mean, I like that they're actually getting back to like the original argument rather than this whole like income disparity thing. Employment growth and unemployment. Wait. These arguments have long been disputed. Drawing on data from countries, use a metric of their own design. What does that even mean? Can I measure? Can I make one? I want my metric to be. My metric will be number of stuffed animals per capita. Like, what is going on? You can just make up your own metrics. Okay, all right, but and here we see it again. Like, what is the first thing that they say is that in their metric? Right. So here are their metric inputs: income inequality. I don't know if these are in like any type of order, but income inequality. I have already made a case that bad metric for growth, because someone else is growing faster than you doesn't mean you're not growing. I feel like this is a basic, obvious thing, but okay. Growth. I don't actually know what they mean by. Do they mean like company growth? Like number of employees? It's a little open-ended. And unemployment. All right, so we have one metric that actually matters. All right. Employee encounter for the increase various kind of tech. I'm finding that the major effort predictably has been increase the. All right, so. And here we get back to like exactly what I've been saying. And like, I don't even know why they use these other two inputs, because the output was only one of the inputs. Function takes a. There, we're gonna write this in code. So function takes inputs a parameter A, B, C. These are like input parameters A, B, C. Outputs A. B and C aren't necessary. This gets you in code reviews. This means you're a bad coder. Which gets back to like, this is a bad metric that you designed. You took 3 inputs and have one of your inputs as the output. Alright. And like that one bad output doesn't have anything to do with the entire argument that it hurts growth. If anything, we should only care about this one output, which, they may have talked about. I guess I could read their stuff, but, I care more about r/politics than this person. Finding there were strong evidence against applied size and just lower tiger induce more out. So they didn't make a claim on either of the other two. Then again, how long did it be taken to new liberalism? There's so many people who say, well, neoliberalism is so now we're getting into like economic theory rather than looking at your actual like. I mean, it would be really interesting to see what they use as data, but like the fact that what are you? Hey, stop it. Like, there's this whole idea that, like, because the rich are doing well, the poor are not. Like, yes, by nature, like, calling them poor, they're not doing well. But the idea that lower class people need to, the only way lower class does well is by the upper class not doing well. Like, you could take that whole paint diagram I did and reverse it so that like they're both negative terms, and like let's take everything from the upper class. Like that doesn't make it so the lower class is doing well either. And that's where you see with this whole idea of like, yes, I can make up my own metrics. I made up mine up here, market power. I feel like this matters a lot more than whether Bill Gates is able to buy 1 or 2 Ferraris. I guess that's up to you. Let's play some Hearthstone.